Cheers, dude. I'd love to hear from Flo. Flo, how are you, dude? I mean, this is the first time I get to talk to you right now. I'm a little fucking, I'm a little fucking death metal, kid at heart right now. I'm like, oh, like fuck, dude, I got Flo on my episode right now. But yeah, dude, what's up? Your fucking drumming is like some of the most standout shit in the beginning of my death metal career that I can think of. Like, you have your own signature blast. And your style is just so grindy yet fucking tech death at the same time. And that was just one of the main, you and Lord Worm were the two like main standout unique aspects of Cryptopsy the first time that I had heard it with Blasphemy and None So Vile. And yeah, it's set its hooks in me for life, dude. So thank you again. I'm probably going to say thank you. And I'm honored 1,000 fucking times this episode, but yes, dude. I'm so stoked to have you on, and I'd love to get deeper into like what it was like in the earlier Cryptopsy days, in the fucking what it was like to grind in Canada back in the early 90s and shit, So
well, yeah. Well, first of all, thank you, and I appreciate it. I'm glad it affected you that way, in a positive way, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when we talk about the past, there's things I remember and a lot of things I don't remember, and there's probably multiple reasons for that. But I think one of the biggest reasons is that I'm the kind of person that doesn't really dwell on the past at all. I'm really focused on the present and the immediate future, if you wish. So, what was it like back then? It was new. It was a challenge for me because I'd never. I mean, I think I was 16 or 17 when the guys came to see me at my house because I had a band with one of the I think Lord Worm's roommate, and they just really liked that I was a spastic kid, and that I had some kind of time notion, even though back then it was completely flawed, but I guess it was better than what they had expected. And then, they kind of like Steve Thibault and John Todd's on bass, they were kind of like pushing to go to the extreme, because before that, Necrosis was very edgy, newish kind of thrash. And there was a very dark, kind of sinister element to it, but it wasn't quite death. And we all, kind of grew up together, them a little bit older than I was, listening to the stuff coming out of Florida and Sweden and all that stuff. And it kind of, in New York, and it influenced us to push the envelope a little bit. And I just figured out that I could do it and, be fast. And at the time it was more so nerves than I would say technique. And over the years, obviously, I kind of developed it into a technique. But back then, it was fun. It was a party. I didn't expect anything of it. I mean, yeah, it was just I was a kid, and it was just having fun. And then when we saw that there was kind of a global interest, and it just became more of let's take this seriously and try to exploit what we can from the limited talent that we had. And I think I pushed myself really hard as a kid to listen to a lot of different things and a lot of different people to try to push that talent, to try to give myself a name and not just emulate somebody else, and find my style. And since I really didn't practice on covers at all, it was kind of easy to find my style. And very simply, my style is not from one particular musician. I think it's from thousands, bits and pieces I just picked and threw into my melting pot, which I always say.
I wanted to add also about the European tour. So Matt, like, first of all, like, my memory was like, man, this guy's a great singer, like, off the bat, dude. Like, we were like, this guy's just like, you sang all the old songs to me. It sounded awesome, and I only saw Cryptopsy with Lord Worm before you. And that was the first time I saw you guys, I think, must have been. I never saw them with you, Mike. But I listened to you guys since I was in high school back in the day, you know, and I've heard all the albums and always loved them. But yeah, man, we were always just like, I mean, my memory was you killed it, even if that was your second tour, you said?
My second tour, but the first one was like 4 days or something.
Oh, wow. That's cool, man. That was super good times. And also, like, I remember, like, I'm like, all right, so I'm going to like play like before Flow, like, okay, you know, like kind of like in the same boat, like, all right, for our first time in Europe, and Flow is going to be playing, you know, after me, a couple bands, whatever it was. And I just remember just being like every night, like, you know, we'd finish and like I got to watch you behind your kit and like just being right there and like, you know, like loading out and everything. I'm like, this is real, man. It's like right in front of me. It's so crazy. Like it's like you're like a pro drummer, you know, like you're like the dude that sets up the kit in a way that's like, I mean, I saw you at the Pound, you know, like way before, like, I mean, years before that. And I remember going with friends and we're like, dude, do the drum solo, Flow. We were like fans, you know, from back then. And of course, for years, you know, then back in high school, I was like, we were always like, Cryptopsy is the craziest because you get the fastest and shit. And so it was a huge honor for me, man. Like, I was just like, damn, this is so sick. And like, I was like, I can't believe I'm like hanging out with Flow and I'm like kind of friends with them a little bit, you know, like this is so cool, dude. Like, you know, so
total honor. Really. Thank you, man. Yeah. I appreciate it. But you know, and yeah, shit like that is why I keep going, you know what I mean? And seeing just people that, you know, say that and surpass me in skills and stuff like that is even better. I think it's really cool. But yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it very much. And yeah, you know, it's too bad that these tours are kind of so short and then we each go our separate ways, because, you know, you kind of form a bond and then it's like broken up, and business and logistics make it so that, oh my God, you know, like, oh, now I remember, you know, but this was years ago and haven't, you know, don't know this guy's, you know, it's weird. It's a weird thing. It's a weird business. It's very weird. And people don't really understand it that much. People that are at home and don't do it think that for us, it's just easy peasy. And, you know, it's just
come to Brazil.
Yeah. You know, yeah. You know, yeah, just, you know, do it. Why can't you do it? You know, it's tough. And at the same time, you make all these new friends. And even, you know, even with Mike, I mean, we've been talking about getting together for forever. I mean, there's this COVID shit, but I mean, it's a different life, because then when you're away, then your family misses you, and you know, the friends that you have, it's it's kind of screwed up. You really, again, you really have to be dedicated to it, or just an ignoramus, I guess.